About it. All 30 minutes. That leads me into something else. Though, like, it's very relative to what we're talking about. Excuse me. The big huff and puff lately about breastfeeding in public.
Yeah.
Which is something that
I think it's fucking nasty.
Really?
I think you need to keep your no, not at all.
I was about to say, damn, dude. Like,
No,
we're
I'm
about
just-
to debate.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's
I
the
think
case.
I think that
There are people who genuinely fucking shame people for doing it.
yeah, and I think that's
To the point where, like I saw a video where there was a lady breastfeeding in the corner, covered up, with a blanket, like people have always done.
right.
It's not like they're inconsiderate or they're just flopping it out in front of, like, in the middle of the store in front of all your kids and shit.
Yeah.
Like, but she was in the corner of Starbucks at Target. Like, you know how, like, out of the way that shit is.
Yeah.
And there's usually, like, weird partitions and walls and shit. She was literally in the corner, breastfeeding with a blanket over top of her. And she's filming this guy as she's doing it because he's flipping out on her. Just calling her a whore, a slut, like, just shaming the fuck out of her, just flipping out to the point where,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
like, kudos to Target because all the employees and all the managers were, like, standing around, like, telling him, you need to get the fuck out of here.
I do
She's
remember
doing
seeing that
nothing
video.
fucking wrong, like, going
Right.
over there and, like, sweetie, you are doing nothing, because this woman's, like, crying
Yeah.
because he's
I
genuinely,
do
like, just
remember seeing that.
destroying her with words.
Yep, I do remember seeing that.
That's fuck those people.
Did you know that Disney now has breastfeeding stations where you can go into?
Good.
It's a whole private room. Well, it's not like a private room. It's like a big.
But it's a
big
section
room.
designated, like, here you go, like, we have no problem with this. Here
Right.
you will not, no one will give you shit here.
Yeah, it's
Good.
like it's like a large room where and all the women are. I mean, they're all. You could look around and see all the different women in there breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Well, they don't let men in there, but you could see all the women in there. Okay, if you're a woman in there breastfeeding, you can see the other women in there breastfeeding. I
Yeah,
guess
but
the best
they're
way to
all
put it.
women breastfeeding, so they're like united. You
But
know
yeah,
what I
like
mean?
like Disney, that's the one that came to mind because we took a trip out to Florida and did Disney there, and that's when Jen was breastfeeding Kenzie, and they went into one of these breastfeeding stations, and it was Jen and then our buddy Jen and Jason, his wife Jen. They went in there and
So
breastfed.
Jen and
their
Jen
babies.
went in there.
Yeah, Jen and Jen went in
Gotcha.
and breastfed, and then Jason and I sat out in the little waiting area and
Whoa,
made
Jen and
jokes
Jen?
about.
Jay and Jason.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah,
Quadruple J's.
and we're all whack jobs.
Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Actually, that was pretty much it.
You all went in, or they all went in there and they used it. That
Well,
was
yeah,
the-
Jen and
the
Jen went in
point of the
there
story.
and used pretty much.
I thought
Went
you
in
were
there
gonna tell me
and
they were,
used.
like, really nice, or they, like, were very accommodating. Or,
Actually, I mean, the breastfeeding station was
Perhaps
really
they were
nice, and then
protesters.
there was a whole like air conditioned waiting room for the dads or whatever out.
Nice.
Outside of that,
Nice.
and Jason and I, like I said, we sat there and we pretty much made jokes about
that's cool. That's cool.
how
That's
our
like,
how our girls might be back there making out and shit. And
and then you guys whipped it out and started jerking off, and then that's when people started
well,
giving you shit.
well, no, the other people didn't start giving us shit. It was more of all the guys whipped it out.
So it just became like
it was
a
like a
giant circle
big
jerk.
exactly.
It was like hands across Dick America.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys like
no,
were you
no,
jerking
no,
each other off?
no,
Or was it just
no. We
you're just all kind of there just watching each
yeah. I think at that point, then Disney staff probably would have stepped in and been like, "All
I
right,
think Disney
guys."
would have been fine with it. They support homosexual rights and shit. I mean, they've had gay pride since before
Okay.
gay pride was a thing.
None of that is true except for the breastfeeding station
And the masturbation
And there was
circle.
a really nice air conditioned waiting room for the dads, and it was really nice because it was hot as fuck that day.
But
I
no,
remember.
that's cool that Disney does that for sure. Like, I went to Warped Tour one time, and it was 2012, and they actually had an air-conditioned tent with, like, TV and Red Bull and, like, a fridge and catering and shit for parents.
Yeah.
So the parents could just chill in there and the kids can run around and do whatever. Because that place is actually pretty, like, there's quite a bit of security walking around. Like, it's very like teenage and friendly. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Like adolescent friendly. There you go.
Yeah.
But man, for the older people that were there, because I was like 24 when I went. Well, it was 2012. I'm 20. I'm about to be 29. So yeah, okay. But I was older. I was like in my mid 20s and shit. So like it was kind of irritating because little kids would like cut in front of you and bullshit. But
it was several years ago. I got Clay tickets to go to the Vans Warped Tour. And I thought he'd be super excited about it because that's back when he was like really into
Vans
like
Warped
all that
Tour
shit.
was way better like 10, 15 years ago.
Well, I just remember
now
after
it's all like shitty, irritating emo bands. But like I went there and I got to see a lot of bands I've always wanted to see, like Newfound Glory, Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
I said fuck the Used. We leave before the Used even went up. Fuck.
I thought
the
you
Used.
liked them.
I liked their first two albums, and then they just I don't know. Burt McCracken's an asshole. And I just didn't dig it after that.
Well, I remember I bought Clay. I thought he'd be super excited about it.
Oh, and it introduced me to 4 Year Strong, which is a really good band.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I don't know who that is. But anyway, that kind of goes along with what I was going to say.
You'd actually really like that.
I thought Clay was going to be super excited about it because I bought, it was a ticket for me. It was a ticket for me. It was a ticket for Jen because it was going to be right after she moved out here. So it was going to be me and Jen taking Clay and his girlfriend, who he's been with for years now.
Yeah, he's had her.
He's been with Caroline for, I would say, probably close to 4 years.
That's crazy,
3 or 4 years now.
Man, because he's what, he's 17, 16?
16, yeah.
Damn.
But
that's consistent. They must really like each other.
That's what I'm thinking too. She must like him a lot, and he must like her.
It must
a lot,
be like Lost Souls or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I know they used to play soccer together when they were little, and then later on, they just started hanging out, and then before you know it, he was, okay with me when I would say your girlfriend.
Are you okay with him? You talking? Is he okay with you talking about all this right now?
He doesn't listen to anything.
He will now watch.
Yeah, well, he probably will. This will probably be the one that he listens to.
Damn it, Dad!
Although Coley listens to a lot of them, which
so Coley will probably bring it up.
Yeah,
be like, "Hey, Dad was talking about you on the podcast." I'm like, what?
But that's exactly how it would go. What? And then he would go listen.
He'd listen, and then he wouldn't talk to you forever.
No, I think he'd be okay with it because I'm not saying anything wrong.
We love you, Clay and Cole.
But anyway, we bought 4 tickets for Warped Tour, and I thought he was going to be super excited about it. And I told him, I said, it's gonna be me and Jen, and we'll let you do whatever you want to do. We're not gonna whatever. Mm-hmm. And I said, and you can bring your girlfriend. We got a ticket for you and her also. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then like a week before we were supposed to go, he was like, I don't really want to go. And I was like, but you were so excited about this at first. And he was like, yeah, I just don't want to go. I was like, fuck.
He doesn't like people.
He doesn't
like crowds. I'm not that kind of person.
He does. Either. And I've learned that
people just piss me off.
Yeah, he would much rather just keep to himself and his girlfriend. And
well, I'll tell you what, it's hot as fuck out there. And I mean, it was probably at Blossom.
Oh, actually, real quick, but that's kind of where I was going. Where I was going with that was when I saw the lineup of bands. Like I can remember years ago when I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing like Blink 182 and all these really cool bands, and then I'm looking at the lineup for the tickets we got for him, and I'm like, I don't even know how to say half of these names.
No,
I don't recognize any of these bands, and
now they're just making up words. For
and some of them I don't even know.
And a lot of them just aren't
how
good.
To say them.
A lot of them sound the same. Like, there's very few. Like when I went there, I was just like, yeah, I would have enjoyed this a lot more 10 years ago when like bands I liked were playing and shit. Like I was just excited that I was gonna get to see Newfound Glory for the first time.
I'll tell you what,
and they're like in their 30s now.
Yeah,
and like I got to see Taking Back Sunday, which like it was funny because Taking Back Sunday's logo at the time was very Sons of Anarchy like, and it was like Taking Back Sunday, just like Sons of Anarchy. But
right.
then the middle of it was a panther, it's Black Panther, and it was so funny because
I'm sorry I ruined your Black Panther's party.
JJ just turns around to me and goes, "Sorry, I ruined your Black Panther party," and I just started dying. Dude, that was the funniest thing probably that happened at that whole place. But
no,
I was just excited. There was a couple of like Jeff Rickley from Thursday played an acoustic set. I missed it, but I wanted to see it, and it introduced me to For You're Strong. But dude, if I would have went like 15 years ago, I would have been able to see like Newfound Glory and Taking Back Sunday back in their prime. You know what I mean? I probably would have saw the Used when they were good.
Right.
I could have saw like Rancid, fucking all kinds of shit. And now all like none of those bands are there. Bands that said they would do this like back then that would be like, oh, I'll be here every single year. Love the Warped Tour. No Effects is never there anymore. Anti-Flag usually plays there every single year. Weren't there. Like all kinds of bands I would have definitely like. All the reasons I wanted to go to Warped Tour aren't even there anymore.
Right.
They don't even have like there's skateboarding and shit like that used to be a big part of it. There was like a half pipe there with like a bunch of fucking amateurs on it. You know what I mean? Like it's just not what it used to be.
Have you ever?
But there was some really cool bands there.
I am very far away from being an expert on this stuff, but our niece Christy, she listens.
She would love all that shit.
Well, that's what
it's all catering to her generation.
Yeah, I can't stand that screamo, emo.
I like some of it, but
any of it, but.
I like all the original versions of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
The original bands that created that.
What I'm getting at is like, and you actually turned me on to these guys, and I don't even know if you listen to them anymore. But you know, I absolutely love their singer and everything. But it's 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, I don't remember.
He screams.
I was never really into
he
them.
screams in a lot of his songs, but he's so fucking good at it. But he also sings, and he's got an amazing voice. And I love 30 Seconds to Mars. I know a lot of people don't.
Wait,
but
who are you talking about from 30 Seconds to Mars?
Jared Leto.
Okay. Because you were talking like you didn't know that was Jared Leto.
No, I knew that was Jared Leto.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is I love music and I think this is why you also turned me on to Coheed and Cambria. I love music
that I definitely did, but I was never really into 30 Seconds to Mars, so I think you're confusing me with something.
I remember hearing them because of you.
Their first album wasn't bad.
You played me a song. You played me a song, and I was watching the video, and that's what I love about their music, and that's why I said you also had me on Coheed and Cambria for a little while because I love music that tells a story. And
and that's Coheed's forte.
And every video that 30 Seconds to Mars does too, they tell this story with their music, and I love that shit.
That's like Coheed. A lot of Coheed's videos have nothing to do with the story. That's what I don't. Some of them kind of do, but not really.
Well, their videos may not, but the song lyrics do.
Oh yeah, the song lyrics have comic books to go along with it.
Right. 30 Seconds to Mars, they tell a story of what you're watching in the video with their songs.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff.
Well, what I don't like about all the new iterations of all this music I used to like all the stuff that our niece Christiane listens to now, like, they were all influenced by all the bands I used to listen to then. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. So they're all, like, trying to be these bands, and they're just poorer versions of them. Some of them are totally awesome and original. You know what I mean? There's some bands more recent bands that I'm just like, okay, these guys obviously were influenced by these bands, but they're doing their own thing with it.
Right.
Like they were influenced, but they're actually creating their own type of genre here with it. But man, so many of them are just whiny and just like, they're just being whinier, watered down versions of bands I used to love that were never successful when they were around, but all these bands that listen to them and are trying to be them are extremely successful.
Yeah.
To the point where all these little tween girls are going apeshit for them.
I also love the All American Rejects.
But their lyrics are basic as fuck. I don't like the All American Rejects.
No, I do like them. I think Tyson, the singer, his name's Tyson. I really like. He's got a very unique voice, and I like that too.
Yeah, he was real whiny to me.
But
too. But they're another one of those bands that had like pretty basic lyrics. Their lyrics aren't as bad as like now, but nowadays their lyrics are like so fucking literal. Like there's no poetry to it anymore. It's just like it's exactly how they feel in like the plainest English possible. Like there's no art to it. It's just like I agree.
You. I agree to a certain
extent. You broke
extent.
up with me. I'm so sad now. Wah, 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 wah. Instead of like you destroyed my heart. You know, like they're not like putting any kind of effort into the lyrics. They're telling you like it's like a fucking little kid wrote it or something.
I agree with you.
English.
I agree with you on certain bands. I don't agree with you if you're referring to the All American Rejects.
Well, no, I'm saying they have a little bit like they at least try with their lyrics a little bit.
And I can back that up with several songs if you need me to. But there's another band that I really like.
And All American Rejects, not to cut you off, but it's kind of a bad example for a new band because those motherfuckers were around 15 years ago when I was talking about bands that I like.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
One of those bands I wasn't really into.
Well, they were on the Bud Light Port Paradise that I won. On that cruise that I won. Oh. And I was so fucking excited when I found out they were going to be there for one of the concert days. And I was so pumped to see them. And then there was another band that I had never heard of before until I saw the lineup for the Port Paradise tour. Okay. So I started listening to them. And you might actually kind of like them. You probably know who they are. But their sound is just incredible.
Who are they?
They're called Young the Giant.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know who they are.
Love them. Listen to them. Check them out. Young the Giant. And they're not like emo or anything. They're just... It's just good music that you can just sit and chill and listen to.
No, I mean, I'm a... Like, I've said this for years. Like, I don't like this genre. I don't like that genre. I like music.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, what kind of music you like? I'm like, the good kind.
Yeah.
All music is good, like, in some way. Well, not all music. All genres are good. I'm just...
okay, there's good music in all genres.
Are good. Yeah, like, I like it all. It's just, I don't like everything.
Yeah.
I like all types. I just don't like every version of all types. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I like old country. I even like... There's not too many bad newer country songs. They just have to not be the same old rah-rah American get drunk bullshit all the time. Like, I like the rah-rah get drunk party down kind of country music. I don't like it's like legitimate and different and unique, and they're not just like pandering.
Yeah, I don't like the lovey-dovey bullshit.
I like
we're
like
so
sincerity.
In love kind of country music. That music just... Maybe it's because of my sex life, but that music just irritates the living shit out of me.
No, I understand.
When I hear
we don't need to
when I hear the lovey-dovey country, that just irritates the fuck out of me. But the partying, drinking, having a good time, chilling out on a beach, kind of country music, that I do like.
No, I understand. Like what I'm saying is not all of that kind of country is bad. What it is the unbelievably like insincere ones. Like where you're like, wow, this guy is writing this song because he knows it's gonna be a fucking hit song, and he's doing it like by the book. Like that's pretty much how I feel about all music in general. Like the music I love the most is the music that I'm just like, damn, I can, like, this guy means it.
Yeah.
Like this guy, like I feel his pain. You know what I mean? That's why I can love genuinely good singers and stuff, because like the motherfuckers that like can stretch words out for, like Claudio can like make a word go on forever just by going like audio for like yeah. You know what I mean, or like he could just say things and make it sound awesome. And like when you can just hear you can hear it in the song that like they genuinely fucking care about what they're doing
and they
here.
Feel it.
Yeah, like
they can
you
feel
can
it.
Feel it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what I love.
You know who
music.
writes really good country music? Brad Paisley. That dude will write a love song that talks about how much he loves his girlfriend and how much he loves to fish, but
one of the greatest country songs ever is "Don't Take the Girl" by Tim McGraw.
Hold on. Brad Paisley sings a song where he sings about, it starts out, he goes, well, I love her, but I love to fish. And then some about now his girlfriend or his wife or whatever is calling him on the phone saying, you better get your fucking ass home or I'm not going to be here when you get back. And he's like, I'm going to miss her.
See, shit like that's clever and funny. Like, I can get on board with that.
That's one of my favorite songs. I love that song.
But damn, man, like...
he loves her, but he loves fishing just a little bit more.
I don't know who sings it, but there's a song called Dear Penis. And he's like, "Dear penis,
Yeah,
I don't think I like you anymore. You used to watch me shave.
Titties and
do
beer.
Is stare at the floor.
Titties
like,
and beer.
Like that shit is just funny as hell and just clever. Like that is a
Oh,
good.
thank God for titties and beer.
Like country music can be totally like a big caricature of itself, and it'd be great, like great. But there's a lot of like weird subgenres of country that are great. Like there's what people have labeled as gothic bluegrass, which there's a band called Odette that's amazing, dude. Like you ever watch any of those Blaylock Reunion 2013 videos I put out?
Yeah.
All the music in that was Odette.
Oh, really?
And they're like, it's like
I remember them, but I don't remember them enough that I can.
You know those
the music.
Books that came out, like I think it was like the late 80s, early 90s. They were by Alvin Schwartz, and I think I don't know if the artist was Alvin Schwartz, Stephen Gamel or Gamel, and I think that's his name, and Alvin Schwartz were the guys who did it. One of them did the art, one of them did the writing. But there was like 3 of them, and they were called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and like Scary Stories 3, I think, More Tales to Chill Your Bones. I have the whole treasury over here. Actually, I'll get it. I'll show it to you. But
He's gone.
like these, the artwork.
Oh, okay.
The artwork is unmistakable. Like for anybody, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, like this is the treasury. It collects all 3 of the books, and the artwork's just unbelievable. But their music, Odette, is like, to me, just reminds me of like the soundtrack to these stories and books and shit. But I bought that for $6.
These pictures remind me of when I was in elementary school, and there was those scary. I guess it was supposed to be scary.
But dude, there's songs in there that they wrote that are real creepy. There's all kinds of creepy stories, and then there's like a whole section in each book that they I forget what they call them, but like they're the ones where like the stories lead nowhere, and in the end you just yell real loud. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and then he finally came to the door, and when the door opened, and then it says like in parentheses like, now look at everyone and scream, I knew I'd find you, or something real loud. So it's just like to scare people and shit. But like some of those ones are the best because they're really good stories and they're totally leading you somewhere, and you're like on the edge of your seat, and then like you just get scared.
And then it's nothing.
Those are some of the best ones, and you're like, fuck, dude. But like sometimes they're just like, all right, we realize this was going somewhere, so they give you the end of the story at the end.
You know what my favorite scary story is, though?
What?
It was a dark and stormy night.
Yeah. That goes on for. We're not doing this because it'll go on forever. And I'm sure people know what you're talking about. But my cousins especially, they used to pull that shit all the time.
Oh,
but
I love you, Uncle Rick.
Odette,
and we miss
out.
you.
Odette, check him out. Yeah. But
and then Uncle Randy with worms. I hate worms. They drive me crazy.
Crazy? I was crazy.
He used to get so into that.
He put me in a home. Then I died there. Then the worms came.
Worms? I hate worms. They drive me crazy.
Goes on forever. It's like the song that never ends. You know what I mean? But all of that very, very well describes how we feel about public breastfeeding.
Wow, we got way off the subject.
Yes, we did. But yeah, maybe we'll save that topic for another show.
Well, I guess to answer your question, I see absolutely nothing wrong with public breastfeeding.
And anybody shaming women for it should be fucking shame themselves for being such dickheads.
I think that generally, as long as you've got, that little blanket covering you, I don't see any reason why it should offend anybody.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, if
I can
see,
understand some people are probably kind of out there with it. You know what I mean? Those people who are just like probably walking around the store with their tit hanging out, like
that. Yeah, I
can understand. But like the actual act of breastfeeding is so natural.
Yeah, and I see nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it, especially if you're being totally respectable about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, but there's people. Like they even do like social experiments, like videos on YouTube where people will be like out in public doing it, and there's somebody filming them or a couple different cameras filming them, and people are actually stopping and then just shaming the fuck out of them for it. Like,
right.
It's crazy. But yet, like if there was a woman out there with her with her tits hanging off protesting or something, they'd be supporting her. You know what I mean? In some weird way. Like, but I mean, you're also everybody's got
all
haters,
those all those burn your bra ladies.
Yeah, but that was like back in the day. I don't think they really do that. But like
I don't know. I would
free
support
the
it.
nipple thing
Yeah,
that they were
I would
doing
support
over
it.
the past few years.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, guys can have their tits out. Why can't girls? But then again, they don't over-sexualize men's breasts like they do women's. I mean, women's breasts are very sexual, don't get me wrong, but they're also very natural, and they have other purposes. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And I'm sure there's perverts out there that probably have a breastfeeding fetish or something. But
I don't have a breastfeeding fetish, but
not
but
I'm
okay with sucking on some boobies now and again.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it a fetish.
There's dudes out there that probably get off on the whole idea of breast milk and breastfeeding and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure I've even heard of it before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got on like Pornhub or something right now and typed in breastfeeding. There will probably be 100 videos pop up now. I think
what was that website?
Come on, like you don't know Pornhub. It's probably your favorite site.
I know Pornhub, and it's not my favorite site.
What is?
Voyeurweb.com.
Oh, gotcha. You like to be the guy. Wow,
no,
that's kind of creepy.
No, actually, believe it or not, there's not even voyeur pictures on there. Back in '97, when it first started, and I first
illegal.
discovered it, there was people taking hidden camera pictures then.
I believe that.
But they don't even do that anymore. But that's still what it's called.
Yeah.
And there's like different sections of it, but it's all like amateur.
Well, they don't do that anymore because people were getting taken down for that shit.
Yeah,
like
and it's all like amateur. It's not professional porn stars or anything like that. It's like husbands and wives submitting their their private photos and stuff like that. And they do like contests and things where the people that are submitting, they'll actually win. I think the top prize. Basically, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that subscribe to this website. You actually have to pay for it. It's $50 for the year, which is excellent. $50 for a year on a porn site.
That's not bad.
But it's almost
$100 for Amazon Prime a year.
Right, but you get new pictures literally every day. And
are you a member?
I am.
Okay.
That's what I just said.
So how many hits do your videos have?
I don't have videos on there, and I don't have pictures on there. But there actually has been several times where I thought I recognized a couple people on there, and whatever.
I'm sure there's probably at least one person you've met in your life on there. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, probably. But it started in '97, and that was the first time I subscribed to it.
Did you write the book? Because wait, '97. You were there for the
1997. Is when it started. I was a member from the day that was.
You should get a discount because of that or something.
Right?
Have you been paying consistently over the years?
Well, there was a short period of time where I didn't subscribe to it, but then I went back to it because it's good. It's good. Like, because sometimes you just get tired of seeing the professionals faking it all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I mean these are real.
Porn over...
Yeah, these are real women. Just doing what they do and putting it out there. And that's what I started to say. A lot of it is, they can submit their stuff into these contests, and like the top prize is like $1,500, and they do that every single month. And you got like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and it goes down. And the lowest prize is like I think $200 or $300. It's a great site. Voyeurweb.com.
Our sponsors for this episode. My next question is, how many breastfeeding videos have you seen on there?
None.
None?
They don't do any...
You're probably not looking.
No, they won't do anything that involves...
But have you ever saw like a breastfeeding porn type
video
before?
No.
Anywhere?
No, but there are women that are lactating, I think is what it's called.
Yeah. Well,
that you could see them they'll push their boobies together and squeeze the milk out, and you could see it squirting, and it's all.
There's like a pregnancy fetish thing, and I'm sure that's probably a big part of it.
They've had pregnant girls on there before.
Because that's when your milk comes in, near the end of the pregnancy or whatever. Yeah. But I guess my point is with that is I'm sure there are guys out there who would use you, even the most respectable of a breastfeeder out in public, would see that as something sexual and make it worse than it actually is. You know what I mean? There are consequences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think people should be shamed for it. If your kid's hungry and you're out and about, it's just a normal everyday thing. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. Ever since breastfeeding was happening, I'm sure they were doing it in front of other people sometimes, even cave people, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then they didn't give a shit. I mean, they didn't give a shit until like the last 5 or 10 years.
Well, and that's the thing. Within the last 5 or 10 years, everybody seems to have a problem with something.
Yeah. Oh no, there's always like it could be the most innocent of things, and there's always somebody to say some sort of shit about it.
Yeah. It's
the internet. The internet gave fucking dumb people.
This whole world is getting so far out of control that it's ridiculous. And actually, that brings
everybody's a bunch of fucking insensitive pussies anymore.
Well, and it brings up something that
sensitive pussies, not insensitive.
Probably not going to be. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, okay. It could be a little bit controversial. So I'm not going to go too far into it. But I actually read an article the other day online about how black students at colleges are refusing to have white roommates in their college dorms, and they're protesting to have their own dorms set up where it's just black.
So they're actually asking for segregation.
Exactly.
That seems like a giant step backwards.
Exactly. How fucking far back in time have we just gone in the last where and I am a firm believer in the all lives matter thing. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Indian,
I do
Asian,
think that all lives
whether
matter.
You're a police officer, whether you're whatever you are, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you are. Your life matters to me. My life should matter to you just as much.
Well, no,
and
I agree.
And
I agree, but Black Lives Matter doesn't mean only Black Lives Matter. It means Black lives do matter, and that's what they're trying to say with that. It's there's as if they're saying like the cops and authority does not thinks black lives just don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, that's why they don't give a shit. That's why cops don't get in trouble for shooting.
No, I understand. I do.
Get off on vacation, you know what I mean? Which is suspension, but really it's just paid vacation.
I understand. That's what they mean. I understand.
But there are people that, like, portray it to be like, fuck everybody else except for black people. No,
exactly. I understand the thought, probably the original thought behind the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh no, dumb people heard about it on the internet.
And to be honest with you, I can agree with it to some extent. But it's even that's getting out of hand to the point where there's people out there that just because you're not black, they hate you.
Oh no, I watched a video earlier.
And it has nothing to do with anything else except for the fact that you're not black.
I don't remember where it was. But I watched a video earlier today that somebody posted, and they said, watch this and share it before it gets taken down or whatever, which usually when they say that, it doesn't happen.
Right.
They're usually just saying that to get, it's clickbait, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they were actually destroying a whole neighborhood. Anybody that was white, that was driving through, or any of it, even the person filming all of this, was just like, oh, he's white. They were just trying to point it in, like they were just driving.
Right.
And they were trying to beat the shit out of anybody that was white.
Yeah.
Anyone. It didn't matter.
It's getting out of control.
What is this? Like,
we are all human beings. We all have the same. See, I said I didn't want to get too far into this, but
no, we probably shouldn't.
But because I don't want to get too political, that's something that we don't want to do on this show.
So you're welcome, Scott.
But just everything about this Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, white lives matter, blue lives matter, the cops, it's all getting out of hand. And
yes.
And I do agree that the police are just out of fucking control. But it's not all the police.
No.
There are good cops out there.
It's not all black people,
right?
Or all white people.
And that's exactly where I'm going. There are good cops out there, but yeah, there's a handful of really shitty cops out there that have no business being police.
There's shitty and dumb ass motherfuckers of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Man.
There's white people out there that are really good people, and then there's really shitty white people. Mm-hmm. There's really good black people out there. One of my best friends is black, and even he doesn't agree with the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
Oh yeah, and there's more and more people coming out being like, look, man, like black people that are just like, look, I had a conversation. Like there was a guy who had a conversation with an Indian lady, and the Indian lady actually came up to him and apologized to him for everything that's going on. He's like, you don't gotta apologize to me. And like,
Right.
he's like, this is the media, lady. The media is
It's
perpetuating
all,
all this bullshit. They are creating this. They
Right.
want this to happen.
Right.
And he basically explained, like, and he's all filming this after the fact. Like, look, this just happened, and like, I am touched, but people need to know that like, this is
I know the video
exactly what they want to happen.
But it's all just getting out of hand. Everyone needs to just calm the fuck down and realize that we are all human beings, regardless of what color we are. We're all human beings.
Yes.
And my life matters just as much as your life matters, just as much as Tyrone's life matters. And what's a good Asian name?
Kim.
Kim's life matters.
That's all racist.
And, no, I'm just... I know. that, But you get what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Regardless of who you are, regardless of what color you are, regardless of what... Your life matters.
We all matter, man.
Your life matters.
Black lives matter. White lives matter.
I don't believe that anybody's
Dogs
life
matter,
matters
cats matter.
any more than somebody else's.
You know, there is one person, though, who deserves to fucking die a horrible, slow, painful fucking death. And that is... What was her name? Mrs. Deagle from Gremlins. The lady from the beginning who just kept telling that guy he was going to murder her fucking dog for no reason. Like,
Gremlins?
if you've ever seen Gremlins, you know the lady that always comes to the bank and gives the dude shit. That bitch can die a slow and painful fucking death.
Okay.
Deagle, I think is her name, Mrs. Deagle. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
That fictional bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I guess with that said, we could call it.
All lives matter. All of them.
Except for Mrs. Deagle's. Fuck that bitch.
Apparently, except for Mrs. Deagle. I don't know who that is. I don't remember a whole lot about that movie.
I just watched Gremlins earlier.
But all lives matter.
That bitch.
All of them.
She was cold. Anybody who gets the opportunity, watch the first Gremlin movie again and remember how fucking big of an asshole that Deagle is.
Right. And everyone just calm the fuck down. Just calm down.
Quit buying into everything they want us to buy into. Quit falling victim to the media.
Whether you support Trump, whether you support Hillary, whether you support whoever.
Just care about one another.
Yep. Because they don't give a fuck about us.
Nope.
So we need to care about us.
We're doing exactly what they want us to do.
Stop protesting every stupid little thing.
Turning everything into some big issue that's not even that's going to be not even a problem in 2 weeks.
Right. Everybody just calm down because something huge and catastrophic could happen. And none of this bullshit is going to matter.
Well, that leads to a whole nother topic of conversation, which they're all saying it's like it's gonna lead to like that the biggest thing that could happen that would make that the case would be an alien invasion or the disclosure of aliens, which could in itself be an illegitimate thing. You know what I mean? Like it in itself could be a farce created by the powers that be. You know what I mean?
How do you falsify an alien though?
You don't falsify it. Like disclosure or like a fake alien invasion. Like just because, like, imagine all the technology we don't even know about that we have.
Yeah.
Government technology and shit. They could very easily, with things we don't know about, they could probably very easily stage something like that. You know what I mean? Like to get us to unite as one, in a way, just for their benefit, for us to fall right into that plot point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
like I said, that's a whole nother topic of conversation for another episode. But I'm sure when we do another conspiracy,
the next Jay and Mark part 2,
I guess,
or something.
But yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
That was episode number 23.
All lives matter. Breastfeeding in public is fine. Grow up. Act like a fucking adult. What else?
I guess that's it.
Some music is good from all the genres.
And masturbating in public can get you in trouble.
Yes.
I don't know why we're having to recap. If you're here this far, you listen to all of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know why you're doing this. You're just making it. You're just keeping it going.
Yeah.
After the third outro I've attempted to do.
Maybe I don't want to leave yet.
Well, then keep talking, motherfucker.
I'm done.
All right. With that said, I am Mark. This is Jay.
I am Jay.
And you made it to the end of episode number 23. We thank you.